Behind me, you can see the gear that I intend to pack into my truck. I'm going up into Alaska from southern Florida, so it's going to be a very long trip. And I want to make sure that the gear that I take is exactly what I need. Nothing extra, nothing less. And how do you do that? Well, the best way is to make a list of everything that you want to take. Sit down and do brainstorming for even weeks at a time so that you get a good honed list. Now, once you're out on the trip, you're going to find that there's things that you forgot, and you want to keep track of those so that you can add them to your list. But also, there's going to be things that you'll never touch on that trip, and you'll say, I wish I hadn't taken it. And you want to keep track of those things too, so you'll update your list at the end of your trip, and you'll be ready for your next one. Okay, let's get into this because I want to start getting this stuff out of here and into the truck. So my approach is going to be to talk about items that are related to each other by function. So I'll show you a group at a time, briefly talk about it, and move on to the next. Many of the tools that I carry serve a dual purpose. I use them on overgrown off-road trails as well as in campsites. Overgrown trails, they can scratch and scrape your vehicle's paint job. A little overgrown, I'm scraping the car up just a bit. When I asked a forest ranger in Oregon about cutting back on some of the spots on trails that were hard to get through, she said it was perfectly fine to clear brush and cut overhanging limbs on trails. The Forest Service doesn't have enough time keeping up with all of the trails they have to maintain. Some of the tools that I carry are a handsaw, hedge shears, scissors, a kukri, a fillet knife, several pocket knives, a hatchet, various types of shovels, protective gloves, a whetstone to sharpen blades, and WD-40 or ballistol. I also carry a 14-inch electric chainsaw. A fallen tree can stop your progression or even strand you in a forest. Okay, this group of gear is for recovery. I have an ARB easy deflator, so you can rapidly let air out of tires. This is a Rhino USA recovery strap, and it really does not have any stretch in it. Pair of soft shackles, an air pump from Viair, and I really love this, and I depend on it. This is a heavy duty one, and the hose for it is there. Comes in a really nice carrying case. Some of the pockets I keep things like, tire pressure gauges, those type of things in there. And this is an ARB Essentials Recovery Kit, and it has a snatch strap, a tree trunk protector, a snatch block, and 2 bow shackles there. This is my Factor 55 hitch link. It's a 6000 series. And what this does is it goes into the receiver on the hitch at the rear of the truck. You never want to try to pull something with just a regular hitch and a ball, because that ball can break off and become a deadly weapon. And this is my Gulu jump starter power bank, which is basically a battery that when you connect these jump starter cables, you're able to jump start your vehicle. Okay, and quickly, just a few other tools that I do carry with me. A tire repair kit, a socket set, and some other tools. These are mainly metric. This is a base for my high lift jack. You could just use a board. And also have these tire chocks to keep the truck from rolling backwards. I keep a pair of rodent repellers underneath the hood of my truck. And I keep the hood open whenever I can. That's because rodents can get in there and start eating the wiring and making nests, so they can be a real problem. So these help. I take mosquitoes very, very seriously, and so what you see here is a broad-brimmed hat that I put some mosquito netting over. And when you do that, your ears, your head is protected, your shoulders, back of your neck, those type of things. And if you wear long sleeve shirts and you have long pants, you're protected, except maybe the back of your hands. And so then you can put something on the back of your hands, whether you want to go with something like this or something natural. A thermocell is a great thing. It's used by campers and hunters, and it has a small pad in there that's soaked with permethrin. The thermocell heats it up, and vapor is released from that repels the mosquitoes. I will put this on the step that goes into my alu-cab on the back, and that way when I go in and out of the alu-cab, mosquitoes aren't coming in with me. Ticks can also be a real problem, especially if one bites you. And so this is a bottle of permethrin, and what you do is you spray that on your socks, your shoes, your pant legs, and ticks are killed on contact. Now, when you spray this, you want to spray it while you're not wearing it, and then you let it dry, and it'll withstand half a dozen to 8 washings, and then you can reapply it. And of course, I'm concerned about predatory animals, so I carry a gun with me. And so my number one defense there is counter assault for bears. I always carry one of these with me, at least on me, when I'm hiking in bear country. When I'm out hiking, I have this little bear horn that I can blast, and this is called a bear bell. And so you can put that on your backpack or something like that. For reading enjoyment, I have a number of books. They're on everything from survival and what you can eat in the woods, and bears and those type of things. And I also have, for survival purposes, a slingshot along with the pellets. There's steel ones and there's clay ones there. But it's also fun just to shoot and practice with. Biodegradable soaps. A shower pouch. I only use that if water is plentiful. Microfiber cloths, I use these all the time. Not only to keep the truck clean, but I clean myself with it by dampening one of these, and then I'll run it through my hair, my face, all the way down to my feet. And it's amazing how much dust and dirt these things will get off of it. And then I let it dry out, and if I have a chance to find a washing machine in some small town that I'm passing through, I can wash those back up and reuse them. I carry about 120 of these with me. And of course, I have a couple of towels that I take. You'll find that, you get caught in the rain, you get soaked, it's cold, and you need to dry off quickly. So having a towel besides having the microfiber cloths is a good idea. I have one wash rag that I take there too. And something that I have not used, these are shower pouches. So we'll start over here on the left. A couple plastic containers for leftover food. And you'll be amazed at how many of the Ziplocs you go through. So I have the various sizes there. Paper plates, silverware, can opener, several water bottles. This one is an Nalgene large water bottle, as well as a glass one. So those don't filter water. But this one, which is a Berkey Sport filter, does filter water. And that is the Patriot Sun Kettle, which you can just use sunlight to reach a boiling temperature for water. The Kelly Kettle for boiling water and cooking. You can use it as a little tiny stove if you'd like. But I have this Coleman, it's just a single burner stove, and it runs off of propane. I really like it. I'm also going to take this small skillet with me. This is cast iron. I love cast iron because I don't think it takes much propane to heat them and to use it, as it does, you know, one of those other type of non-stick skillets where you have to have the heat up constantly. In this little packet right here, this is some chainmail on a sponge, a scraper, a couple of scrapers in there. This is for the cast iron skillet. First aid is really, really important. Don't skimp on your first aid kit. Get the best that you can get. I also, of course, take tissues. I have a colloidal silver generator, not in there right now. Various things for poison ivy, poison oak. And this is a snake bite kit. I actually don't have the toilet sitting here right next to it at the moment, but I have a little shovel, and these are Huggies. I use that instead of toilet tissue. The nitrile gloves come in real handy when you come to a gas station or you're working on the truck engine and you don't want to get your hands dirty. But I do have hand sanitizing alcohol wipes. I have 200 of these. I actually wish I had more to start the trip with. And I also have a couple of other different types of hand sanitizers. The Glad Force Flex leak protection tall kitchen bags are really handy. I use those in the portable toilet as well as just for trash. A couple of empty bottles so that during the middle of the night, if I have to get up, I don't have to climb down and go outside. These are some chemicals for the toilet. This stuff is for doing laundry. First of all, I have a little washing machine for the outdoors. It's called a scrubba. I call it a scrubba wash bag. And I saved the little box that it came in so you can see it there. I also have a collapsible bucket along with some clothesline and clothespins. Now, if I'm going through a small town and I stop to use a laundromat, I have sun guard, some dryer sheets, and of course some laundry detergent. And when it comes to cleaning the inside of the truck, because dirt gets in there all the time, I have a little whisk broom with a dustpan and also a 12-volt electric vacuum cleaner. This is more clothing. If you watch some of my videos, you've seen this particular one. I love this. It's kind of breathable on top here. You can actually, I can't see through it with that, but I can see through it. It has this neck cover on the back so that when you're wearing it, it's covering your shoulders and the back of your neck, your ears, and that's keeping bugs and mosquitoes and the sun and stuff off of there. I love this hat, honestly. This is a 12-volt electric fan, which I picked up at Walmart. I had one that was a little bit smaller than this, and I liked it, but one time I dropped it and the cable was connected and it kind of broke the cable connection there. So this is just a little bigger, but I really, really like it. It lasts a long time on the battery. It has a clamp here, so you're able to clamp it to something. I use this in the tent quite often when I'm sleeping at night. If I'm like down here in Florida, it's really hot and humid, I just let this run all night. It has a light here, kind of like a small LED, that circle right there that lights up if you want to do that. You can vary it so that it's blowing and then not so much and blowing again. Those type of things. You can twist it and turn this to whatever position that you want. It doesn't turn automatically by itself, but I mean, you can point it to where you want. This is a small handheld metal detector. It's actually a pointer. And I have a rod and reel that I take with me too. I have not used my fishing gear, and the reason for that is licenses as you go from state to state. These are binoculars. And this is my inReach Mini. This is my inReach Mini. Sends signal up to the satellite, comes down, writes it on a map so that people who I know and trust can follow me. This is a packet of trail gaiters. If you're not familiar with trail gaiters, I really highly recommend that you get some of some type. They go over the top part of your shoes and over your socks. and they keep all those stickers and burrs and dirt and mud and everything off of you and off of your clothing. Some way of leveling the truck so you can sleep comfortably. But this is a dry shampoo. You just spray it into your hair. It's kind of like a powder and removes the grease and stuff. Hand warmers are really, really valuable when it's really cold out. Besides putting them into my pockets, I'll also put them in a sock or some kind of loosely wrapped thing and throw it down into the bottom of my sleeping bag. Now, you're not supposed to do that, but when your feet are freezing, they're not going to warm up in a sleeping bag that's insulated, so this really helps. Some exercise things for my grip and also for the upper chest. Weighs nothing, so I take those. I also have this Overland Solar Bug Out 130 panel. I connect it to some wiring that's beneath the hood, and then I run it out to where there's sunlight, unfold it, and that way if I'm parked in shade, I'm able to get some solar panel power generation. These are a set of instructions and documentation for the various things that I've bought. Don't need to take all of it, so I'll kind of sort through it and try to figure out. I did take a map with me. You know, you can see the road atlas here. And I never really used that, but I think it's a good idea to take one, you know, have some kind of a map with you. You want to make sure that you have all kinds of spare batteries with you. Just all kinds of odds and ends. Little things that you don't think you need, but you might. Paper clips, carabiners, emergency kit. You know, this is measuring tape. Some tiny little locks, and the list goes on and on. I want to make sure that you take some envelopes and some stamps with you, you know, just a few. In the corner here are things that I took on my last trip that I'm not taking this trip. That's a lot of things that I'm taking, but it's not everything. An amateur radio, for instance. I had to move stuff around because I had guests coming over. And so I hope that I've listed everything in this video. If you think I've left something out, please let me know in the comments down below. By the same token, if you think I'm taking something that I really don't need, yeah, feel free to comment on that too. Thanks, and I hope that our trails cross soon.